Seems to be we're live again.
Hooray! I've been waiting to live for a long time.
That's true. That's true. So, hello there, folks. It's yet another episode of Würfelcast, episode 3 already. It's been a little bit more than 3 weeks to last episode, but due to some issues, uh, technical and like different issues, life issues as well. But we got this episode out eventually before the end of the year. I don't think we'll have another episode this year. It just, just too much work. But maybe
Okay.
there will be top 10 games of 2018. Maybe if we get to it, but I'm not completely sure. Anyway,
We can also do it in early 2019. That's not exactly
Yeah,
untimely.
we might even maybe I'll bring a camera to the cruise, and we're gonna do it on the cruise as well. So
If we've got Wi-Fi.
no, yeah. I mean, it won't be live. We can do a
Oh,
recorded
okay.
one because we are
Very well.
we're doing live only because we are in different places.
That's
So,
true.
but today's episode is all about the not all about, but mostly about the overrated games. We're gonna do our top 6 overrated games. Kyle gonna hate me. Yeah, he's gonna hate me on some of these games. Okay, but that's totally fine. That's totally fine. They are overrated in my opinion, but we'll see. So we'll also go through the our recent plays, and then we will talk about a game that we really want to get back to the table that haven't seen the light much lately. So let's start with our recent plays. Maybe I'll start with the one. So
Okay.
my first recent play, though not so recent because I haven't played that much throughout this whole month. Just too crazy, too busy to play games. But I played the Green Forest. The Green Forest from Druid City Games, and it's a game about you are those 3 pigs, and you are building those different houses of different materials. And in this game, you're trying to build a total of 3 houses. Doesn't matter what materials they are, but as a tiebreaker, the sturdier material, the better for you for the tiebreaker. So you're trying to build those up, and this is very simple core mechanism. You're basically choosing all at once where you want to go. Then you reveal that, and then you go there. If you go get some hay with another person, then you have to divide it between you two. If you are alone, you can get it all. So you're trying to outsmart, outguess opponents. That's what I love in quite a few games. And the core is extremely simple. I would say childish, but kind of like that. Very family-friendly game. But there are those fable cards and friends, so you can place the fable cards with your location cards in order to spice up the situation, and spice up the situation quite a lot. You can get all the different special abilities, and then you have friends, which are your companions, and you can only have one friend at a time. So at some point you
Just
will,
like life.
yeah. But at some point, if you get a new friend, and you will get it automatically by building walls. So if you get a new friend, you either have to change your own friend for the new one, or you can give it to somebody else, and they cannot refuse. They have to take that new friend. So at sometimes you are like, I have a really cool ability. I don't want to change, but if I give it to another person, it will get another great ability. Or sometimes, like, he has so annoying ability that I don't want to see here in this game. So I'm gonna give him that friend, so he will be less of a nuisance. So it's all about that, all about the fable cards. Without those, there's no game, basically. I mean, the core mechanism I like, the outsmarting, outguessing, kind of like role selection, but you select locations. That's what I liked about history as well, and so on, and Mission Red Planet. So, but amazing production, by the way. The game trace insert, and just a very beautiful, colorful, family-friendly, family-style, lightweight, but spiced up game. That's the
Yeah.
Green Forest.
I played this one back when it came out at the beginning of the year. a few times. I like it. It's not a bad game, but it has a ridiculously large box that won't fit into any of the comfortable game size bags. And so it's difficult to take anywhere. It's a bit overproduced as well. Not that that's a bad thing, but it definitely maybe, could have been a little bit smaller. And then I probably would have taken it to a few more game days and played it a few times. Not that I'd mind good components and a good looking game, though.
It's a Kickstarter game, so I think the price was reasonable.
Yeah. No, it wasn't expensive. In fact, I don't think it's even expensive now. It's just the box. My biggest complaint is that the box is a little bit too big to take anywhere.
Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, there are so many, these miniatures and small sculpts that just with the insert that you have there, which is an amazing insert, you cannot really fit it the other way. So it's
I guess you can't have everything.
There's no fin air. So
true.
Yeah. What's your recent play?
All right, my recent play, I saw it advertised on Board Game Geek 3 weeks ago, and I went to the website and I bought it. And it is a fantastic game. It's called Vindication.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Kickstarter game, but I didn't get it through the Kickstarter. I just bought it from their website. It's a game where you've got the story is that you are a despicable human being, and your ship has crashed, and you've been thrown overboard, and you've washed ashore, and you're trying to redeem yourself and vindicate yourself, so to speak. And you're moving around, and you're taking different actions from different locations, and you're just trying to collect a bunch of different things. Everything really gives you points. That's what you're ultimately going for. It's really kind of a Euro-style game, but there's a lot of different things to do. It's super fast. And what I like about it, it's kind of what I liked about Archipelago, is that there's a bunch of different end game triggers, and those are going to change every game. Different from Archipelago, though, is that these are always public, so you can see what everybody's working toward to end the game. You've got hidden goals. You can collect different companions for special abilities. You can fight monsters for end game scoring opportunities. You can get relics for sort of short-term powerful abilities that you have to keep recharging. It's just, there's a lot of things you can do. The game looks great. It's very simple, very straightforward. I just really, the box comes with a bunch of expansions that I haven't tried yet, but they look like they would be fun. It's just, different locations you can add in, you can swap out, add different, sort of a fight a big monster type of a goal, or you can build different buildings. There's a lot of things you can do, almost a sandbox style game, but in 45 minutes, it's really a great surprise to me. Vindication.
I just looked at this one. Yeah, it looks really cool. It has the role-playing aspect.
Sort of. I mean, it's sort of the theme that's kind of draped over it. It's not really a role-playing game, but I guess you can get in there if you want.
Okay, so it looks.
But other than that, it's great. So.
Yeah, looks like they are miniatures as well, but they're probably the Kickstarter version.
I don't know, because I have the miniatures. They came, if you bought it from the company's website, but they don't do anything. They're just sort of for decoration. It's definitely not a miniatures game.
Oh.
Like if you're fighting this big monster, it comes with a tile that you could put in the center of the board, or you could put the miniature in the center of the board, but you don't actually use it in the game.
All right. So yeah, looks cool. I'm gonna take a closer look into the game. But
yeah, you might actually like it.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. That you have the modular board and all that action, but the Euro reaction thing. Okay, cool. All right, so my next play, and this is a big one. Although, I mean, for me at least, because I tried to get this game to the table for a long time. There was not a right group for that and so on. So yeah, well, it was hard to get it to the table, and also review copies and everything like that. So Rising Sun, I finally played it. I finally played Rising Sun. Finally, I know. I had this for when the Kickstarter arrived. I don't remember.
April or March.
March or something like that. Yeah, and I played it. I haven't played it since then. So it's my like. I mean, it's the first time I played. I only played it one time right now. But what I want to say about this one, there's a lot of hype on this game, and probably all of you know about this game. So I'm not going to talk about how it works, but basically, this is a area control game. But I like the aspect of having the map instead of having the kind of like your circle. In Blood Rage, you know, we have the circle, and that you all have those special abilities, and that your special abilities kind of show you the way to play if you're inexperienced, but the action selection mechanism over there, you're selecting those mandates or what they were called.
Yeah.
They spice up the game as a whole. So sometimes your ability is not so relevant. You need to choose something completely different or go with a completely different strategy. And eventually, it's like with Blood Rage and with quite a few other games where there are a lot of similarities. I mean, spiritual similarities to Blood Rage. But in Rising Sun, I really like the aspect of building yourself up through those cards and kind of dictating what will be your overall strategy and trying to get the cards that also co-work with your special ability. That's what I thought. The first game, of course, was a learning game. I didn't really understand. Like at some point I understood how to play, but it was really hard to understand the strategies and so on. I did win, so because I played Blood Rage before, and the other two folks I played with, they haven't played Blood Rage, and I kind of found those similarities, you know, building up your card stock in front of you and so on. I have the Kickstarter production copy. I mean the plastic thing, so everything is plastic. Everything looks gorgeous. The big miniatures, the monsters. I don't know if like some monsters were really cool, some monsters were not that cool. I mean, I played only the base game. You know, there are so many other things like all the extras from stretch goals and the small expansions and that daimyo box or whatever. So I have all of that. I'm gonna put that into the game next time. But I felt the base game is already quite much, and I have this big shiny neoprene mat as well. And now I have inserts, the folded space inserts for both the daimyo box and the core box. So yeah, so it will be easier to set up the game and to put it away. So yeah, the overall experience is that I extremely enjoyed Rising Sun. I don't know, something Euro about it, something that I don't really like war games, but this one felt more like that negotiation part we didn't care about at all.
No.
It depends on the group. Some people just don't negotiate. It was so much fun to do your own stuff and to fight each other, trying to get the provinces and so on. So I don't know. I adore this game, and I have a great production copy. So yeah.
I just checked while you were talking. I played this in February, so that must have been when it came out. And I remember we played it, and I just looked around and said, anyone want to play it again? And we just set it right up and played it again. Had a great time with it. I ended up paying too much money to get mine painted, so I have a fully painted one.
Oh.
And I got the big fancy box from Broken Token, the big, you know, whatever crate that holds everything.
Yeah, so
I
really
spent
expensive.
too much. Yeah, it was quite expensive, but I really enjoy the game. I did not play with the negotiation. I think that would actually ruin it for me.
For me as well.
I think that would drag it down and drag it out and cause it to slow down, and I wouldn't enjoy it that much. But I really did like the way that it works. I like the combat system. I like that it plays pretty quickly. It's definitely a great game.
But I mean, like the alliance markers.
Well, I like that.
We always forgot this phase of the game.
Oh,
that was really funny. The tea phase. It's because it's like the tea party, whatever phase. What it's called, tea phase.
The tea
and then
ceremony.
we always forgot about this because it's like it's a war game, and they have the tea ceremony phase, whatever. You know, it's like we couldn't remember that.
Oh, well, I never forgot that. That part. I mean, the negotiation. or whatever sort of the alliance making I found was fine. I didn't really drag things out. But it's the whole, I'll give you this if you go over there and do that, and then don't do this here for my turn. That part I wouldn't enjoy. I saw, I think our 2 games of it we played in half the time it took somebody else who was doing a full-out negotiation version to play through 1 round. So,
but the alliances are
anyway.
cool. We didn't ally with anyone in this game, but I think they're cool. They sound cool because you can use the ability of your ally, and then if you compete, if your ally wins, then you're not destroyed in that location at least. So there are some benefits that these are like mechanical cool benefits. So anyway, Rising Sun, I'm gonna get it back to the table. I'm gonna say it's right now after the first play though, I like it more than Blood Rage.
I would agree with that. I like it more than Blood Rage too, although I quite like Blood Rage. But I want to get it played again soon. I wanted to play it with Victor when he was here, but it doesn't work really with 2. So I've been trying to find an excuse to get it to the table again.
Anyway. Yeah, when we did our top 10s, though I played only 1 time, it's a contender.
Yeah, it's a great game.
So yeah.
Well, my other one, I've played a lot of great games lately, but the other one I'll talk about is this one. This is Underwater Cities. Underwater Cities is, one that I just knew that I would like because, one of my favorite games from last year was Pulsar, and this is, I think, the same designer. So this is just a fantastic little game. It's sort of a
game,
It's not that big, and it's not that complicated. It's really almost a worker placement game. There are a bunch of sort of worker placement spots, and you place your token there, and you play a card. And there's 3 colors of the worker placement spots, and there's 3 colors of cards. And if you play a card that matches the space you chose, you get to perform both the action of the card and of the space. If you play a card that doesn't match, you only perform the action of the space. And really all you're doing is, you're using the cards, you're trying to maximize, time. Okay, I really need to do this action, but I really want to play this card. Is there any way that I can work that out? And you're sort of building your little board, and you're trying to connect your cities, and there's some sort of scoring tiles that if you can connect them, you get extra bonus points. But it's not really very complicated. It's not very long. It's just a great game. The component quality is a little bit not the best. It kind of feels independently produced. But not like the play mats are really thin, or the player boards are really thin.
Yeah.
But other than that, there aren't really any component issues. Oh, the one component issue is that there aren't enough of the resource tiles. Like you're constantly having to make change. There's like the 3s and the 1s, and you're and I've only played it 2-player and was still constantly running out. So
okay, sorry, I lost you for a moment because some kind of an internet connection problem.
Oh, well,
but
I just said that there aren't enough resource tokens in the game. That's my only real complaint.
Yeah, good, got it.
But other than that, I love Underwater Cities. I've played it a lot lately. I mean, I hadn't played it until about 2 weeks ago, and now I've played it several times since then. So, great game. Definitely a contender for me for the best games of the year. And that's that one.
That's good. It's good. Yeah, it's something I wanna try for sure. Something I wanna play, and maybe something that I will really enjoy because I enjoyed. Somebody says it's like a little bit similar to Terraforming Mars, a little bit. I really enjoyed Terraforming Mars, but the issue with I mean, like card-based Euro game, that kind of feel. I like such things as card-based Euro games. For example, Everdell is a card-based Euro game, and that's why I enjoy it very much. So
yeah, I actually think it's probably closer to Everdell than Terraforming Mars. I've heard people compare it to Terraforming Mars, but I don't really see the comparison, honestly. But that's my opinion. But
It looks
it's a great
nice.
game, and
yeah, it doesn't look that dry of a Euro, and I like the theme, at least how it sounds.
it's pretty fast.
Mhm. It should be involved because it's Vladimir Suchit, but yeah, I really want to try it. Maybe it's something to add to my collection. Maybe maybe it will replace some other Euro games for me.
If only you knew someone who had it that you would see soon.
Yeah, about that. But all right, so let's go to another topic. It's the game that you really, 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 really want to get to the table, and for me, it's most of my collection because I don't play that much, and especially when there's the tourism season, whatever it is, basically busy season for the restaurants where I work and so on. So it's really hard to get anything to the table. But the game I really want to get back to the table, and I'm sure I'm gonna get that because it's not a complex game, and I can play it with my colleagues from work. And that's Abyss. I want to get it to the table also because, first of all, I haven't played it in a while. I adore this game. It's gorgeous game. It's easy to convince my coworkers to play this game because it's gorgeous. You look at that, some pearls. Look at that, beautiful pictures, and it's easy. It's easy. It's like, but I also haven't played the last expansion, the Leviathan expansion. So I really want to see what they have done with this monster track. If it's really that much better than the original ones. Like original monster track is, who cares about that, you know? I don't, but then there's the new monster track or something like that, new ways to defeat monsters, and seems like it will be much more fun. And the first expansion with Black Pearls was also fun. The extra treasure of Push Your Luck, I really like the Push Your Luck in games. This one should get to the table at some point, and I really, really, really want to get it to the table. So I'm gonna try to convince others and convince myself that I don't have to play all the other 100 games. You know, I have to play Abyss.
Right.
So,
yeah, I like Abyss a lot. I haven't played it in a while. I can't remember if I played with the Leviathan expansion or not. I remember I got it out, set it up, and read the rules, but I don't remember if I played with it or not. It's been a while since I played the game, so who knows?
The Leviathan expansion came out with, I think it came out with Imaginarium around the same time because I got the package.
That's about right.
I got the package from Bombix. It was the review copy of Imaginarium, and then it was a small surprise was the Leviathan expansion as well, which I didn't know that came out. So probably they came out around the same time. So it's probably spring.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Okay. Well, the game that I want to get this yesterday, it would have been a different answer, but this literally just arrived, and if I weren't going out of town for Christmas, I would be itching to play it just today or tomorrow and not play anything else until I got it done, is Aeon's End Legacy. Now, I've played a lot of Legacy games, and I'm kind of cooling on them, I think. I'll be playing Betrayal Legacy with my brother on the cruise, but I don't know. I've played, let's see, I played Charterstone, I played both Pandemics. In fact, I played the first Pandemic twice. I played Rise of Queensdale. Can't remember if there was another one. But this one, Aeon's End Legacy, I think is just going to be perfect for the Legacy system. One, I love Aeon's End as a game. It's a game that I like more each time I play it. It just sort of it does something special for me, and I think making some custom mages even in this Legacy version is going to be great. I'll be curious to see if it makes sort of the attacking the city, the Gravehold, more interesting or more desperate. I mean, usually it just sort of happens, and then it's just sort of a side thing, a penalty to be avoided, but maybe that'll make it, mean a little bit more. Maybe the nemesis, the various, baddies that you fight are going to be more evolving and exciting. I just think that the legacy option for Aeon's End is going to be really game changing for that game. And from what I've read, you can use, once you're all the way through it, you sort of create the characters that you can then take and put into basic Aeon's End.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, I mean, maybe the legacy piece, I don't know if that's replayable, although I did get the reset pack. But what you do with the legacy is going to be something that you can take and port over into the base game. And if I weren't going out of town, it's a huge box, so I won't take it with me. But if I weren't going out of town for Christmas, I would be setting it up and playing it right now.
That's cool.
So,
yeah, I know nothing about Aeon's End. I heard about this one, but yeah, so I'm
Victor's
not.
staying after the cruise. I might make him play it with me. That's probably how I'll get it to the table.
So I eventually abandoned the idea, or even I'm not excited about legacy games at all, although I haven't played any of them, because it's hard for me to find a consistent time and consistent growth.
Yeah.
I want to play. That's why, for example, if I play Time Stories, I play it all at once. Otherwise,
right.
It won't be exciting. You will forget quite a lot of stuff. So here, if I would know exactly, I have a group, I have people who I would play with every Thursday, let's say. I would do that, and I might be able to create that opportunity, but that's an extra effort, and I don't want to, involve myself into too much of that. Maybe at some point it will be harder for me because my schedule is so varying, so different. So I don't know. It's just each time I look at the legacy game now, it's like, who cares? There's so many great games that have great replay value, and I play them like twice.
Yeah. I understand.
I mean, for me, playing them like 3 more times at least would be already, a great achievement. So yeah.
Well, for me, like I said, I've kind of cooled on the idea of legacy, but every time I have played one, I have played it through. I've just binged it, like in 1 or 2 or at most 3 days. Just played it and that's why Victor's played a lot of them with me, because he'll come and stay for a couple of weeks. And then we'll just play. We'll pick, like last time he was here, we did Rise of Queensdale, and for 3 days, that is all we played. And we played game after game after game until we had finished it. That's how we did it with both pandemics, and that's how I did it with the pandemic the first time. And so that's why I can get excited about them, because I know if I have 1 or 2 people who are willing to commit and say, look, we are spending the weekend and we are doing this, I would not enjoy them. It would feel like a commitment that I don't want to do if it were something that lasted over 2 or 3 months. That's just not the way that I think that these are the best to play. And that's why sort of the Betrayal Legacy that we're going to do on the cruise is going to work if I play it for 2 days straight and then be done. And we'll go all the way through and we'll have the full experience. But I would not enjoy it. That's why I'm not touching the Werewolf Legacy, because I know I'm never going to make it through. And that's why I think Seafall hasn't gotten to the table, even though I would love to play it and was very excited about it at one point, because I just don't know if I can find 2 people who are willing to commit to play just that for a week.
Yeah, true that. Plus, I found kind of like not a solution, but I found alternatives. First of all, basically, what is Legacy is? It's a one-time use game, basically. You play it through. Kinda.
It's more of a game where you play through a story, and the game is changing based upon what you do in the game. So one game impacts the next.
And then it becomes just regular game, and like Pandemic will be probably not so interesting to play it through again, the same story. So I found first of all, it's just a joke, but games that I play only one time that are not that good. These are like my legacy
It's
games.
also a legacy.
One
Could you
and
throw it
done.
away?
One and done. Yes.
Yeah.
But the other games are the exit room, escape room games, and then time stories and so on. So I played through once, and then it's done. I can't play it again. I will, and I was thinking about like, oh, I would definitely play the first time story scenario because I played it like in 2015, but I still remember stuff, quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like probably my brain works like that because I remember a lot of rules and I mean game related things. My
I remember the
experiences.
solutions to puzzles
Yeah.
is the real problem.
So basically, yeah, for me the kind of like alternative to legacy games, which have the story as well, progression. Something changes, something can change permanently. That's escape room games. So that's that.
Hmm.
That's my alternative to them.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the thing I'm excited to get to the table, and hopefully will as soon as possible. Although thinking about the dates, I might wait until Victor comes because then I don't. Then I know I can binge it.
All right. So we're done with that topic. And let's go to the last one. We'll go to the top 6 overrated games. And this list is all about us thinking that these games are overrated. But I would tell you that. So I looked through the BGT list from the top to not the whole bottom, but until I found the top 6 games. So
Okay.
there are some games that I didn't really appreciate. Let's say, like one example, Caverna. I gave it not so good rating. I gave it 4 or something like that. It's extremely high. It's extremely adorable for many people. And when I played it, I felt like, yeah, I understand why people like it so much, but I don't like it. So I try to think about every game I rated low. I try to think about, do I feel like this one is overrated, or I just don't like it personally, and it's still a great design, just not for me. So
Yeah.
it was a little bit hard to do the list, but
For me,
I tried my best.
I did it a little bit differently. I kind of just went through games that I hear people talk about all the time. I didn't really look at where they rank on or their ranking, but games that other people really like, and I just don't. Now, or there's 2 games on here that I do like, but I just don't think they're as exciting as other people seem to think they are.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, there are so many games, but I could do the. I mean, eventually I could do much bigger list.
yeah, although I had a hard time. I mean, I had a hard time initially, and then once I got started, I had a very long list. So
So I try to find the rules for myself. But let's just go to one thing I want to mention is that I don't say that these are bad games. I mean,
I do.
depends. I mean, depends. But I don't say it's like right away that these are not the games I hate. I just
Yeah.
feel that they are overrated. But maybe I hate them as well. Yeah, maybe. Depends. Anyway, so
Way to commit.
let's go to my number 6. So we start with number 6. My number 6 is a game that replaced another game that I adored. One of the first games I played was Arkham Horror. Like in a whole hobby, one of the first games for me was Arkham Horror. And I adored this game. And Arkham Horror is not as good anymore. I mean, I'm talking about the previous edition, that newest edition. The newest edition is really good, at least
It is.
from demoing. But what I'm talking about, my number 6 is Eldritch Horror. I feel like people start saying, "Oh, this is the new like Arkham Horror. This is replacement for that," and I never felt like that. And Eldritch Horror is adored and played by many people. People are talking about it. Though, as the LCG, the Arkham Horror LCG came out, and now the 3rd edition of Arkham Horror, the board game, I think the Eldritch Horror will eventually, go down in the ratings as well. But Eldritch Horror tries to take, like, Arkham Horror was beautifully narrow. It was a city. It was one location, but small mini locations. It kind of told the story much better for me. Kind of this engagement with the monsters. And when I played Eldritch Horror, it was so across the whole map that it didn't give me the feel of Arkham Horror as a game. So, and everything felt like this is disconnected with, and this is disconnected, and I couldn't feel the story. I couldn't feel the game. I couldn't feel the progression. I couldn't feel anything. And I was like, let's go here. And in Arkham Horror, I felt like, oh, you go shopping, you do this, and you buy those cool items. Here in the Eldritch Horror, I was like, who cares? Who cares about that? Who cares about that? And then eventually, the monster pops out on the other side of the map, and I don't care. When monsters came out in Arkham Horror, I was like, oh my god, the cultists came here. Oh, this thing came here. I have to now strategize and see. And plus, of course, maybe I'll just go and try to beat it. I always felt the threat. In Eldritch Horror, I felt nothing. The monster came out. I didn't care. I didn't care about anything. So, yeah, Eldritch Horror, for me at least, is overrated. And it didn't replace Arkham Horror for me. Done.
All right.
Whoa, sorry.
Well, I like Eldritch Horror. There's just too much for it. It's having the same problem that original Arkham did. I just got the Broken Token super huge crate for it that I have to put together. And that might once there's a unified storage solution for it, maybe I'll play it more, and then maybe I'll sort of get back into it. But the new Arkham Horror, I think, kind of replaces it for me. I do like it though, but then again, this is your overrated list. I don't think it's overrated, but I can see where you're coming from.
No, the one thing is when I played Arkham Horror LCG, that's where I felt it even more.
Well, yeah, that one replaces just about everything. That's a great game. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah. Your number 6?
All right. My number 6 is a game that I like. It is a game that I enjoy. But it is a game that some people like so much that I just don't really see where. I mean, even though I can see why it's a good game, I don't see where the love and fanaticism for this game comes from.
Munchkin?
And that is Viticulture.
Viticulture.
It's a simple worker placement game. I have it. I have its expansion. I've played it many times. I've played with several of the different modules. And every time I come away thinking, that was an enjoyable game. But you hear some people talk about it, and they make it seem like it is the greatest thing since Meeples. I mean, and I just don't understand I think it's overrated because I think some people just, their enjoyment level so far exceeds my own enjoyment that's where I see the overrated nature of it. So, again, great game. I don't disparage it at all, and I would not refuse a play, but I've just never had that amazing experience that other people seem to have had.
Yeah. I was invited to play this game many times, and each time I refused because farming and all the stuff related to farming for me is almost, at least was automatically no. Now I'm not so strict with that, but farming isn't really my thing. The theme, it just doesn't. I look at it and I'm like, I don't want to play it. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, it is a fine game, and you should probably try it at some point. But I just think that I've never had that amazing experience that everyone else seems to have had.
Maybe a Tuscan expansion, something like that.
I have everything for it.
All right.
But anyway, that's my number 6.
Okay, so let's go some sacred cows. Well, there. So my number 5 is a deck builder that still lives on, gets expansions, and is played by many people, and is still popular. And that's the Minion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't get it. I mean, maybe it's because the expansions are still coming out and the people have committed so much time, so much effort, so much money into this game that they have the nostalgic connection to this game. That's why they like it that much. But I played many other deck builders, and I feel like, oh my god, if those other deck builders could get that many expansions, that would be awesome. The Minion, who cares? The Minion is so basic that it should be, it's should be overthrown. It's I feel like nowadays we have so many. It's like with Settlers of Catan. Eventually there is another game. There's definitely another game or two that can totally replace the Catan and so on. The same with the Minion. I'm sure you can find rather basic deck builder, but it has learned from the Minion and has done things better. That's what I feel. I haven't played the expansions for the Minion. I played only the base game, but I still felt like, why? Why it's so popular? Why it's still so popular?
Yeah. I remember in 2008 when that came out, I must have played it 200 times that year. I mean, I played it and played it. My family loved it. Everyone just really loved it. And then for me, it's not that I don't know that it's overrated for me, but I just don't know that I'll ever go back to it. I haven't kept up with the expansions. I played some of them. I played them up through Prosperity quite a lot, and then they kind of, it shows its age, is I think really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there've been so many better things that have come out that I just don't really see a need for it anymore.
No, and as I played Dominion after playing some other deck builders, especially like I played my first deck builder was Ascension when I first learned what is deck building, and I adored Ascension. I mean, like when I started playing, I didn't play. It was long time ago when I still got into like it was early into my hobby, starting my hobby, and then I played Ascension. And I was like, wow, and we played it like a ton, like every possible evening, like a ton. We had a friend who had Ascension with the expansion or whatever, had more cards, so we got it all. Like, please give it to us, and we played a ton. So, and after that, when I looked at the Minion, I was like, wow, Ascension is great. The Minion is garbage. Sorry. That's what I felt. And Ascension is an old game as well. So, yeah. Nowadays, my favorite is Valley of the Kings, by the way. So,
okay. Well, my number 5 is another game that I like, but it's one that again I hadn't played it for a while, and I bought a couple of sets of it recently, and I played it, and it also feels like almost like for you in Dominion, it feels like it shows its age, and that's Magic the Gathering. Lots of people love it. I mean, there are some people who love that game and spend hundreds of dollars on it. I bought some of the dual decks and played them, and they were fun, and I enjoyed it. But in that genre, there's just so many better things that have come out that game just also shows its age, and some of the pieces of it just, I don't know. I haven't had that amazing experience that some people keep just loving, and I don't really love the deck building. I don't love the deck construction. I don't like that portion of games as much as other people do. I like to play with these sort of pre-built style decks, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I haven't loved it. But for me, that one is just, I don't know, kind of overrated for me. My number 5, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, by the way, that's a good choice. I didn't think about that because I played Magic the Gathering and played a long time ago. It was nice of an experience, but I enjoyed collecting those cards and getting like cool cards, whatever, rare or whatever they were. But I never really got into the game. It didn't grab me, and I also didn't really. enjoy the deck construction. I don't enjoy it
Yeah.
right now anyway. So I don't know. It's yeah, that's a good choice. I was like,
Hmm.
that's something I would definitely say overrated for me as well. Yeah.
Right.
All right,
All
my
right.
number four. Number four is a game which is in top 100 on BGG. It's on the 92nd place. I've written the place as well. So this game, they told me this game is Istanbul on drugs or whatever, you know. And I'm talking about Yokohama, my number four.
Hmm.
Yokohama, I don't know. So many people like it, and it's not an old design. And TMG did a reprint with the deluxe things, and we had this copy. And when we played it, it was a nice experience. I like the aspect of having like this restrictive movement of workers and so on. But overally, it was so maybe mathematical or mechanical or so dry that it didn't really grab me. I totally didn't understand why it's so high on BGG, why it's so popular. Um, it was kind of heavy. It wasn't really heavy. It's some people say it's a heavier game. It's not. It's a medium weight game. It just has quite a few rules and lots of icons, and I can find similar games that do this kind of a kind of a modular board thing as well, are better. So I don't really understand the hype. I was like, I was hurt by this hype because Yokohama,
Hmm.
were like, oh, it sounds really cool, and the Kickstarter from TMG, and TMG is a great company. I like TMG stuff usually, but then I don't know, one and done. That was my
Yeah.
bad legacy.
Um, See, I wish I could play Yokohama more. I have really enjoyed every play of it. People around here, I have two friends that really like it, but it's one of those games that every time I get it out, I always just look at my friends and I say, we got to play this more. I just really like it. My big issue with it is that it takes up too much space. It's just a
Hmm.
huge table footprint. I just got the Yokohama Duel that I'm excited to try, the two-player version.
Oh yeah, I heard about that
Um,
one, but I was like,
um,
who cares? Just
but you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I don't even know that it's overrated because I don't hear that many people talking about it. In fact, if anything, I thought it would be more of an under the radar. But maybe you're looking at the ranking in terms of it. So,
yeah, but not really. I've heard about this game many times from
mhm.
different forums as well, and
Okay,
people talk about
well,
Yokohama, and it
you
has
talk to
risen
different people.
in rankings recently. I mean, like 92
Yeah,
on BGG for a rather fresh game, I would say. It's 2016 or 2017 game. I
yeah.
don't know, something like that. So it's um, it's really high. But yeah, my number for
Okay.
Yokohama, overrated. Don't play it. Go away.
Oh, all right. Well, my number four is so the first two are games that I do like. My number four is a game that I do not like. It is a game that I have heard so many people say so many positive things about, but every time I've played it, I've either not enjoyed it or I've been somewhere between disappointed and just upset, and that is Photosynthesis.
Yeah.
It is a very pretty game, but it just feels so scripted and there's so many. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times you have to remind people, all right, you pay to take things off your board. And the last couple of rounds are essentially wasted because you can't really do anything that's going to produce much for you. And I think it's an amazing idea. I think it's a great theme, but I have never even once enjoyed a play of the game. So or maybe the first time I played it, I liked it. I don't know. I maybe I did, but ever since then, it has been a total wash for me. And I think I even gave mine away because I just don't think I'll ever play it again. But you hear other people talk about it and
Yeah.
they just praise it to the roof. And so for me, that is an overrated game, Photosynthesis.
I was almost to try it, but I haven't tried it yet. So I want to try it still because I feel I might like it. It might be a good one.
Well, you
So
might, but maybe you can play it on the cruise with someone who's not me.
yeah. It's not like I'll probably try to play newer games that I don't have that I might want to have in my collection.
Sure. Well, I mean, try
Smartphone
it.
incorporated.
Oh, I want to play that one. But anyway. All right. Well, that's my number 4.
Yeah. So my number 3 is the game that got a lot of love, and I think it came back to be talked about because of the expansion. I don't remember the exact name of the expansion, but I'm talking about Isle of Skye. At first,
Yeah, you don't like that one.
Oh, first of all, Clemens Franz. Come on,
I love that game, but I know I remember you didn't like it when I played it with you.
No, just get someone else to do the drawings, not Clemens Franz. I'm sorry. why I hate Clemens Franz so much? I don't know. No, I don't hate him. I mean, like I just don't like that art style. That's already one thing. But somebody told me that it's. I think somebody told me that it's a little bit like about like Carcassonne or something like that, or read it somewhere.
Not really.
Yeah, even the tile placement there is not that as restrictive, And I played a long time ago, but I still remember it was an interesting part where you are setting up the prices, and then somebody can buy it from you, and so on, and blah blah blah. And eventually, this was an okay part, a fine part. Everything else was who cares? The whole other game was just who cares. I felt better things with what was the Mythical game? The I don't really remember, but there are some other tiling games that where you build up the map or something like that, that do things more interestingly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Isle of Skye, I just don't get why people like it so much, but maybe it's like it's Alexander Fisher and yeah, it's a great game. I'm like, no, it's not.
Well, I really like Isle of Skye, but I also have it. I mean, it's just like Yokohama. It's one where every time I play it, I think, oh, I wish I played that more. I also have both of its expansions, but I have not gotten those to the table yet, just because I don't. It's it's in 3 boxes, and I don't want to bring 3 boxes to a game day. So I don't know. I definitely see the love for it, but I also do remember when we played it at that Estonian camp a couple of years ago. You were not having it. So
No. It was so boring. Yeah.
Anyway, well, there you go. We are on number 3. My number 3 is a game that lots of people really like, and it is a game that I will not play again, and that is Twilight Imperium. Twilight Imperium is a huge, long game, and every time I've played it, I wished I made better life choices. It takes too long.
Sorry. What edition?
I don't care. It's probably the 3rd edition is the only one I've played. I didn't want to upgrade to the 4th edition.
Okay.
But they're essentially the same. I have it. I had it with its expansions. I played it several times. I really gave it a good try. But it just, I mean, first of all, it has a filibuster, right? You can just sort of talk something to get. There's this long negotiation phase, like we were talking about with Rising Sun, but that's baked in. And you've got this long discussion, and I'll do this and I'll do that, and I want this law to pass. And I mean, you can get people who just won't let something go. And what I really don't like is the slow plotting movement. I mean, you've got to. It's like you move so slowly. You put a token in this space, and that means you can activate it and move stuff in, but then you can't do it to the next round. And then when something gets, the combat is not exciting. Every time I've played it, I have really not enjoyed it. I have played full games of Summoner Wars on my iPad while waiting for my next turn in Twilight Imperium. It just takes too long. It's too big of a table presence. I just don't see why people love it. I mean, lots of people do.
Extreme epicness. You know,
maybe, but
when it was
if
released.
Epic, I don't know, it feels like the minutia of running an empire, not the joy of doing it.
But nostalgia as well.
Maybe, and maybe that's it. Maybe some people played it when they were younger and really loved it. I know lots of people love it though. I mean, the fourth edition came out and it sold well, and many people really like it. I'm just not one of them. So I think it is overrated. Twilight Imperium.
Cannot comment on that. So I haven't played it, but I think I'm never gonna play it anyway. I just don't care about this one. Don't care. Anyway, let's go to number two.
Number two.
So I started hitting your weak spots because this is yet another game that you really like, and I felt like it was extremely boring. Yet it's talked about and it's rather popular from last year, and that's Rajas of Ganges.
Rajas of the Ganges.
Rajas of the Ganges, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this game, first of all, one thing I kind of hate it is the scoring. They need to meet those two things, and like, just give me straight points. Just don't try to be innovative in a game that is not innovative. That is full of symbols. Yeah, you have dice, you have stuff, you kind of build up some roads, but eventually it's all about this kind of a just grab all the different stuff that it really doesn't matter what you call it, what it looks like. It doesn't matter at all. And yeah, you get currency. Basically, dice are basically currency or something like that. So, but they tried to do something unique, but eventually it was just a boring Eurofest. It was, yeah, like somebody named it like a hellish hero. So it was just such a bad experience, such a dry, boring, and unnecessary addition to the gaming world. So that's Rajas of Ganges. Overrated, totally. Forgettable. Bad.
I really like the game. I think it's fun because it's a race. It's not about scoring points. It's about building yourself an engine and maximizing that thing. And it ideally is fairly fast. I don't love it with 4. I like it with 2 and 3 a lot better. But every time I've played it, I've just really enjoyed it. And I definitely see where the love comes from. But also, I remember when you played it with me, you didn't really love it. So I'm not surprised.
I wanted to end this hell. It was so boring. It was so bad. It was really bad. But I just hated the race aspect of that. Though I wouldn't say I hate it overly because, for example, I really like Manhattan Project, the original one. I don't have it because it didn't age that well with the new Energy Empire coming game that came out and so on. But Manhattan Project is a similar thing. Like, it's a Euro game. It's all about maximizing your resources and then building up, and then like basically building up the engine and racing to certain points. It's basically the same, but it's much better, looks better, plays more smoothly, in my opinion. Doesn't have those too many icons, too colorful, in a bad way thing going on there, and just is more pleasant of a game. So Manhattan Project for me is still a replacement for Rajas of the Ganges,
even though it came out first. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 2 is a game that I don't like. It is a game that sort of embodies. So I often say I don't like trick-taking games. That's not true. It's that I associate every trick-taking game with this game.
Oh my God.
And it is a game that some people love and some people play all the time. And it just is anathema to me, and that is Tichu.
Yeah, I heard about this Tichu thing.
I just do not like that game. I do not see where the love is. But some people, there are some people who it's all they play. There's a lady who comes to our game group, and she comes over to my friend, and every time she says, "I brought Tichu," and it's just like, it's something that some people really look forward to playing, and it is something that I just it ruined the whole genre of trick taking, ladder climbing, whatever games for me. And I keep having to convince myself that I like them because I dislike this one so much.
Yeah.
It also ruined partner games for me. If you see me, the two kinds of games I'm always like for are games where you play with partners and trick taking games. And they're both because I've had so many not enjoyable experiences with Pichu, whereas everybody else has had great experiences with it. So for me, overrated.
I haven't played Pichu, but with trick taking games, I do enjoy them as card games, but I always feel like this is not enough for me. That I would rather just maybe play a card game, or I don't know. Just most of them don't do enough for me to be a lovely board game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. But I got Gorus Maximus, which is a
Oh, that's a great game. That's the thing. I when I think of that game, I'm like, oh yes, I actually do
yeah.
like trick taking.
You got me excited about this game, by the way.
Uh-huh.
It was like
That's a great game.
this gory artwork and so on. So maybe this is the one. Maybe this will be the one trick taking game that I would adore.
Maybe. My favorite trick taking game is probably Claim, but that's only for two. So anyway.
So anyway, let's go to the last one, number one.
All right.
All right. So this time, Kyle, you're sitting there.
I'm sitting.
That's good. That's good.
Are you going to say something that's patently wrong?
That's painful to you, but that's totally right to say. So my number one game, overrated game, is the one that I played with you. Is the one I feel like people are talking about it a lot, and I feel like, why? It started to be one of the best games of the year, and I was like, what do you see in this game? Different ways, strategies, but eventually, like, what are you doing in this game? This and that and that and that. But basically, it's so dry. It's so. I don't know what's about this game, but Pulsar 2849. It's overrated. It might be a good design because I didn't understand if it's a good or bad design, because I felt like this is a prototype where everything was thrown in, all the different icons, and you do this because you do this because to get points or something like that. I don't know. I just didn't understand why I'm playing this game at all, and I have no words. I don't know. I cannot tell you why I don't like.
Yeah, you didn't love that game either. I sure did. Oh my goodness,
so boring.
It's one of those games that I would never turn down. I think you'll like Underwater Cities more though, because it's very different. It's not. I mean, they're not. Other than the designer, they're not really related. But I definitely understand the love for Pulsar because I'm a frequent giver of love to Pulsar. But I have played with some people who have enjoyed it less than I do, so I can.
I know that Z Garcia doesn't like it that much as well.
That may be, but I sure do. I mean, how many times did I play it on the cruise last year? I mean, I remember I just kept playing it and playing it and playing it.
Yes.
So anyway,
I don't know.
Well,
it's like,
that comes down to taste.
Yeah. Well, one thing is that I was thinking about this entry. I was like, but I do really like Russian Railroad, something like that, the First Class. And there's something about these two other games that I really adore, and they are also point salads and so on. Of course I don't like Feld games. I tried Feld 3 times. I tried to like Feld 3 times. All the time he failed on me. So, but I don't know what just doesn't grab me. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Feld, I just played both Forum Trajanum and Carpe Diem, and they're both fantastic. But you might not like them, and they're kind of ugly. Anyway, yeah, I love Pulsar, so that's enough said for me. I've already praised it many times on our shows. So, my number one game. Oh, sorry, my number one game that I believe is overrated is a game that lots of people love. That's sort of how all these are. Is I hear other people just going berserk over it, and I play it, and I'm like, ooh. And that one for me is Sagrada. That is a game that I just, first of all, if you make a small mistake, it is extremely punishing. Your whole board blows up. Secondly, I have played with people who have made a game of Sagrada take way too long. So taking both of those experiences and setting them aside, I still don't see what there is that's so exciting about it. Sure, it looks pretty, but there's a lot of games that look pretty. It's kind of fun to draft dice, yeah, but there's a lot of other games that do that better. I just don't understand. I guess just like with the other ones on this list, I've never had an amazing play of it. I've never found myself saying, oh, this is even an enjoyable experience. Yet I see other people who play it. It sells well. There have been expansions. They've sold well. It's a game lots of people like, but I think it's overrated. My number one, Sagrada.
Yeah, it didn't really grab me. I didn't feel it's a bad game. It didn't really grab me the first time, but I eventually understood that it is a good game. It's because it's very simple. It's very approachable game, and yet it gives you enough to think about. And it is AP prone, and if you do mistakes, it's punishing. But it's how you do those other special abilities. There were like, what are these small glass tokens, whatever they are?
Tools or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, with those glass tokens or whatever, you do the tools, and you can mitigate some of that. But I do understand that. The simplicity, the approachable aspect of this game, and this game came out at the right moment where the market was already oversaturated with heavier games. A lot of heavier games came out. Sagrada came out 2017. A lot of heavier games and Euro games and dryish games came out, and this one popped up from this pile of all the different heavier games. I like the role player better.
Oh, hands down. I love role player.
Role player is great. Sagrada is less.
But again, these are obviously opinion based. Obviously, my opinions are correct. But for me, it's just I just don't see where the hype and love come from for it. So for me, it's an overrated game.
Yeah. I can understand why people might feel like this is nothing. Yeah. But yeah, not for me. So this is the list of overrated games. You might agree, you might not. That's how it goes. It's also based on our personal tastes. So as you have seen, at least, all 6 of mine are the ones that you like, that you wouldn't really agree that they are overrated. Eldritch Horror, Minion, Yokohama, and so on.
Yeah, Dominion I might even agree with. The rest, I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm in full agreement. But again, you and I like different things. So
interesting that you didn't really put Mechs vs. Minions overrated, because maybe the hype around Mechs vs. Minions. I haven't played it, so I couldn't know.
Oh, Mechs vs. Minions. I like that game. I don't love it, but I like it a lot. And I see why lots of people like it. So I don't know that I would think that one's overrated.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
So
I could put any Feld game there as well, because I don't like. But the thing that I didn't is that I don't understand Feld as designer. Like it doesn't fit my taste at all. So it's like I cannot really even judge if he's overrated or not. The design as a whole isn't my taste. It's like I cannot really objectively judge Bruno Catala, who is my favorite designer, because I just like him that much that kinda it helps like the game more. Like for example, he designs a game, I will already like it more that I would maybe if there will be the same game, another designer. There's presumption, you know, that it's just how it is. We're not as objective as we think we are. But yeah, this is
I'm not objective at all.
yeah. This is the end of the Würfelcast episode 3. I'm still not sure about the top 10 of 2018. We might do it as separate videos, as recorded videos. We might do it as a Würfelcast as well. The big plus, you can, by the way, put it in the comments below. What would you prefer? Because the big plus of recording separately is that it can be edited and can be more beautiful and have much better quality overall. So, in short.
Well, let me know. I'm going to have a hard time coming up with a top 10 because there are so many really good games that have come out this year. I mean, I even when I started sort of working on one, and then you mentioned Rising Sun, and I'm like, oh yeah, that came out this year.
Yeah.
and it's definitely a great game. And I had even forgotten about it because it came out so early in the year that now there's just been so much great stuff. So I'll be excited to talk about those soon.
Yeah. So we'll see. I cannot really predict because it's basically it's gonna be like that. So I have a lot of work right now, and it's still basically the cruise. So when I go to the cruise, that's where I get a break from work, from overworking, and then it's a cruise. Then I'll be on a cruise, so I cannot really record anything, or we cannot post anything. And then eventually at the end of January, I'll get back to the channel. But before, of course, before the Christmas, I'll try to get as many videos out as possible. Maybe schedule some as well. We'll see. So
well,
that's that for this episode. Want to say something?
Well, no, this has been fun. It's good to talk about games that other people like that I just don't.
Yeah, it's over midnight. I have to wake up early, so I was a little bit sleepy. But as I started talking about, Rajas of Ganges and Pulsar, I kind of got this rage, and
they were so exciting for you that you woke up
yes.
and wanted to play them.
Yeah, over. It was so boring that I overreacted, and I wasn't asleep anymore. So, anyway, thank you for watching.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
sounds good.
That's what I like to say. That was Kyle. That was Ilja.
Yes, it was. I'm Kyle.
Yeah. Don't forget you can always comment on those videos as well after they have been posted, and of course subscribe to the channel, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook. More content will come. I promise you, it's just crazy times, and I'll do the best I can, and Kyle will too.
Great. Yes, Kyle will too. Kyle needs to figure out how to record and edit, but after that, Kyle will do better. Yes. Anyway,
yeah, probably the last episodes for us this year. So see you on the cruise.
Okay.
So good night.
Sounds good.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We go out in 3, 2, 1. 29:42 or whatever the pulsar was. All right.